Trump really is looking to consolidate executive power and increase the executive branch's oversight over the federal government with these EOs. In his latest series, Trump is looking for increased oversight over numerous government agencies, some of them regulatory, that Congress created to be independent. Now, these include things from the CIA to NASA, where 1,000 people are scheduled to be laid off by SpaceX CEO Elon Musk's government efficiency consultancy that he's running for Donald Trump, but also on the impact that list is the Federal Reserve, which sets interest rates. Trump has in the past, of course, said that he doesn't want the Fed to be independent. Well, the Federal Trade Commission is also going to be impacted. They enforce rules on monopolies and consumer protections, as well as the Office of Special Counsel, which gives federal whistleblowers a channel to disclose things and protects them from reprisals. The new executive orders then requiring agencies to send proposed regulations to the White House for review, which also asserts a power to block their spending and declares that they must accept the President's and the Justice Department's interpretation of the law. Now, this order will likely be slammed as an overreach by the executive branch, as numerous of Donald Trump's previous executive orders have been, and this could actually end up being taken to the Supreme Court, where Trump likely fancies his chances with the conservative-leaning bench up there.
Meanwhile, questions as to the role Elon Musk is playing continue, many calling him the de facto president. A joint televised interview with Trump and Musk has just aired. Here's a quick listen.
What all we're really trying to do here is restore the will of the people through the president. And what we're finding is that there's an unelected bureaucracy. Speaking of unelected, there's a vast federal bureaucracy that is implacably opposed to the president and the cabinet.
Fraser, what have you gleaned about Musk's position as we go forward and his latest moves?
Well, that was a rare interview of a US president with someone who they're not married to, either romantically or politically. Musk and Trump sitting down with Fox News for about an hour. Not really much news coming out of that. But one thing that was brought up was the worry of conflict of interest. Now, of course, Musk's firms receive billions in government funding, and Trump and Musk have constantly said that Musk will have nothing to do with anything he's involved in, and that Elon would say that when there's a conflict of interest. But some have pointed out that in itself is a conflict of interests. So Elon Musk said that in that interview that those worried about his power as an unelected advisor to the president should actually be more concerned about the thousands of unelected federal employees in the government's civilian workforce. The questions are continuing over Elon's role in this government. The Trump and the White House repeatedly have called him a special government advisor running the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, to cut government waste. Well, that was kind of undercut recently by a court filing by the White House Personnel Office, in which an official there said that he wasn't running DOGE and that Musk's title is, quote, senior advisor to the president, a role in which he has, quote, no actual or formal authority to make government decisions himself. So that then perhaps providing some legal loopholes in which Musk can operate. DOGE's tactics also coming under increased scrutiny recently, with thousands of government workers suspended, some who've been in critical roles, including workers at the National Nuclear Security Administration, which manages the US's nuclear weapons. Hundreds were fired in that agency last week, and then the agency scrambled to get them back, fearful of national security implications, and found difficulty in reaching them because they didn't have their personal contact details. Trump was asked about that today, and he said that he wasn't worried about those dismissals, saying, quote, I think we just have to do what we have to do. It's also a similar story elsewhere at the federal level in the Food and Drug Administration, which regulates and approves the safe use of drugs and food. Personnel working on bird flu there were fired as the US is grappling with a bird flu outbreak. So there are still many questions to be asked about particularly what Musk's role is, but the government and the White House at the moment saying that he is a special advisor to the president.